Hey, this is Nicolosi, and in this video I'd like to showcase some of the new features introduced in Mela 6.4. It's currently in beta, but it should be out in a few weeks. The first thing you'll notice is that interface has changed a little bit, and it has a more unified look. The lane headers are now on the side and look very similar to the modules. And that's because lanes are actually modules, and it will become more obvious why that is as I go on. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, well, this preset has 3 lanes, and each lane kind of has a different functionality. And to make it more obvious what each lane does, I can rename them. For example, first lane has modulators, so I'll call it modulators. And the second lane has oscillators, and the last lane applies master effects to the synth. Okay, so next thing I'd like to show you is how drag and drop has improved. And at first, let's drag this LFO, and you'll see that it now shows a contour where it will be dropped if I release the module. Now, I can also drag the module out and drop it in front of this lane. And what it will do is it will create a new lane and insert it there. And since this LFO is no longer following MIDI to poly, it's now a global modulator. So I can again rename this and call it global modulator. Now, this synth sounds like this. And the reason I showed it to you is because if I disable oscillators lane, we will not hear anything. And I can also disable modulators, for example. And now you see that lanes also have the on-off button, just like modules. Another thing I can do is I can collapse these modules collapse these lanes just like modules. And I get more lean interface. There is also a helpful menu function where I can collapse or expand all lanes. Now, I can also drag these lanes around. For example, I can take this modulator and a modulator's lane and insert it in front of a global modulator. And again, there was a contour showing us where the lane would be dropped. You saw that I could take a module and drop it in front of a lane, and it created a new lane. I can also take a lane and drop it inside another lane. For example, if I take the modulators and drop it inside oscillators lane, what happened is that the modulators lane was converted into a group lane. And in reality, lane wasn't really converted into a group module. Lane is a group module. It just looks different when it's at the root level. So in this lane, now that modulators is inside the oscillators lane, we no longer need MIDI in and MIDI to poly because it's already inserted here. So we can just delete them. And now I have much more simplified preset. I can also drop this back out, and you'll see that our group module was converted back to the lane. So let's bring this back here, and let's collapse it. I can also bring this global modulators and global modulator lane and insert it. And again, you'll see it's converted back to the group module. I can, of course, ungroup it and have it there like that. Okay, that's all for now. As you saw, lanes feel much more integrated in Mela, and in fact, lane is now a module. And not only that, whole preset is a stack module. Mela takes a different approach to modularity, unlike the other systems. It doesn't use wires, but instead you're able to nest and arrange modules differently. You can either stack them or put them in series, and this allows you to create complex systems. So let me know what you think. If you have any follow-up questions or feedback, leave a comment below. See you next time.